Hey, everybody, welcome back, man. I appreciate y'all being here. You know I really do. I sure hope everybody has had a great day. You know, I hope everybody's planning on a really great week. Uh, Hopefully, this will be, maybe not quite as hot a week, for temperature wise, you know what I'm saying? Because it's been bloody well hot. So, all right, then. Hey, look, one thing that you and I need to be happy for is that we're preppers, okay? And one of the reason I'm bring that up is that we're talking about the elite people here now, those that are uber rich, okay? The one less than 1%ers, like the 0.5%ers, the uber rich, okay? What are they doing? They're buying bunkers. They're having bunkers made all over America, all over Europe, all over the world, in places like Greenland and Iceland, and just everywhere. The military, the government, the U.S. government, and this is called D.U.M.B. Okay, Deep Underground Military Bunker. They're building 7 brand new ones. Now they've got a bunch of them, but they're building 7 brand new ones, according to Military Times. Why? They're stocking these bunkers. The elites are stocking the bunkers for a 25-year period or more to stay in for their families, maybe relatives, top friends, who knows? But most of their friends are also buying and having made bunkers. Atlas is building freaking bunkers all over the place, and the bigger ones, not the ones you normally see advertised. They're building a buttload of these things. And why? What do these people know? What does the military know? Because these D.U.M.B, they call them, bunkers, they hold 2,000 to 5,000 people, okay? And there's another group called Marius out there. They make them for 5,000 people to last at least 25 years. So you can live down here. They have little roadways. They have movie theaters, right? They have restaurants in these big ass freaking bunkers that are way deep in the ground. Why? What do they know? What do these people know that you and I don't know? Now, you and I can guess at a lot of things. We can always guess at what's going to go happen. Who knows? Some big ass rock falling out of the sky. That can happen. And would they tell us? I don't know. They think Apophis, which is on its way here, might be closer than they're leading, the people to believe. So maybe that's what all these elites are getting their act, in gear and building these bunkers. Supplying them for a long time. And of course, now the elites, obviously, these are very, very nice bunkers, very nice bunkers, 10, 20, $50 million bunkers or more. So, because they can afford it. They're the uber elite. And they don't care about me or you. They don't. The people that work for them, stuff like that, their cooks, their housekeepers, and stuff like that, they'll be with them because obviously the super uber elites are not going to do any work. Why would they, right? And the government building these things are for top officials, not the normal, average, everyday Congress people and stuff like that. A few senators, a lot of the cabinet, their families, and maybe their, extended families, and they're building them to last, like I said, 25 years or more. Stuck in with long-term storable food, short-term storable food. They're doing the whole 9 yards. Having a pretty decent large security force. Even the uber elites are hiring security forces to be in these bunkers. And they're highly well trained. Most of them are, ex-special forces, stuff like that. So they're very well trained and they're very well equipped because eventually, the uber elite can afford to buy them whatever they want. So, but that's my question. My question is, what do they know? Actually, what do they really know that we don't know? I mean, a lot of people are buying long-term storable food, and they should. And, if you're one of the ones out there, fence pole setting, it's past due. Get it while you can. Because there might come a time here, and who knows, in a short period of time, where you might not be able to get the long-term storable food, or you can't afford it. Just saying. Not being able to afford it is probably coming a lot sooner versus not being able to get it. So just saying. Like I say, what do they know that's happening? We live in troubled times. It's a given. Depending on the elections the next few years, it's going to get a whole lot worse. And there's economic downturn, right? An economic collapse is probably imminent, at some point here within the next few years. It's always good to have a little of this extra around, or gold, silver, stuff like that, commodities, stuff that you can use for barter and stuff like that. Can't go wrong. It's always as much as you can, as much as you can afford. And, if you have the place to store it, that's, get as much as you can. But, yeah, it kind of bothers me just a little bit. Elon Musk is building a massive center for him and his family and friends and people that work for him, the higher ups. Of course, he can afford it, right? Rockefellers, stuff like that, their families, they're doing the same thing. The Gettys are doing the same thing. All these people are doing the same thing. Of course, they're not overly advertising it. Why would they? Because they don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't. But they're stocking up and they're buying up long-term storable food. Hence the reason I said now's the time to get it. Because you can still afford it. But there'll come a time where you can't afford it, and it's probably coming sooner rather than later because all these uber elites are buying all of it up. The government is buying it all up. I'm just saying, it's food for thought. You know what I'm saying? So, all right then. Hey, look, if you can, man, if you got the money to build a small bunker or a bunker that you can live in for, 20 years, I would say do it. If you can't, get together with a bunch of other people. If you can't, then reinforce your home. I've talked about that and how to reinforce your home to where you could actually live in the whole home rather than a basement. Now, a basement is a good bomb shelter. They drop nukes and stuff like that if that happens to happen. And we're being threatened. Just that same thing. And so is Europe. Russia and China are supplying Iran under the table, sort of, say through the back door kind of stuff, for their missile systems and their drone systems. It's been rumored to say that they're going to hit them or bring them some nuclear weapons. Now, if they do that, Iran has long-range intercontinental ballistic missiles now. They don't have anything to put in them. They can shoot short, medium range, but the long range, they're getting these things from Russia. So they threaten Europe. They threaten Rome, Berlin, major cities there in Europe, along with England, and taking out cities in Britain. So do we have a problem coming? I say we do. And I say maybe that these elites, they know this already. Maybe they already know what's going to happen. Maybe they know something from the sky is coming that they're not telling us. And it could be catastrophic. It could. So I'm just saying, if you can do, so do. Okay? Cover your six all the time. Watch your back all the time. Crazies are everywhere, man. I mean, they're everywhere. You just got to be careful because you never know when you pull up to a stop area somewhere, somebody tries to hijack your car. That can happen. And it's happening more places, than not. So, all right then. Hey, look, there's nothing but love for you. I truly mean it. Be good. Be careful out there. And hey, stock up now that you can. Okay. And we'll talk to you later.